Om Sri Sai Ram. महागणपते मंगलदाता एक दंत जय मोरिया आदिदेवता मोरिया साई गजानन मोरिया. Om Sri Sai Ram. This is His story, His glory. This is the story of His lost prince, the story of the lost prince of the Lord, by the Lord, for the Lord. No incident, no event, no episode in this story is accidental. No ways. He decides, He directs. And when He decides, He directs every scene in every detail, because He is perfect. His decisions are perfect. His direction is perfect. And of course, His script is perfect. Every unfoldment of any and every event is uplifting, enlightening. It began on 28th of January, my birthday, my 18th birthday in 1971. I was born in 53. A friend of mine presented me as my birthday gift a book on Swami Vivekananda, the works of Swami Vivekananda. I think it was volume 2, yes. We had invited all our friends to celebrate it in our house, Thakur Niwas. Adjacent to our theatre, Sapna Talkies in Ulhasnagar. We all 4 brothers and our friends were in that celebrating mood with drinks and dance and everything that an affluent family from film industry will indulge into. Now this friend, my wise friend, he was not from that class, the rich class. But nevertheless, he was very honest, very loving. So he probably thought that he should give what he can afford to give, and what he actually wanted to give me as a divine gift. So after when the party was over, before going to bed, I just opened the wrapper around the book, and as soon as I opened the first page, randomly, I find this quotation which set my soul on fire. And the quotation was, "My dears, I love you, each one of you, more than myself. But I want that you should always be prepared to die for others." No, this was too much for my worldly mind. But there appeared to be some connection with my Guru. That it immediately set my mind, my soul, my heart, my entire being on fire. I could not read further. I could not actually hold the book in my hands. I thought maybe I have some extra pegs, large pegs of beer or whiskey, whatever. So I kept it under my pillow and slept off. But it had done its job. During that year, our beloved grandfather expired. I came from my hostel, and after all the rites and rituals were over, we decided to clean up his cupboard to set his belongings. Of course, he was a born renunciate. He was a great lawyer, a criminal lawyer. He earned big name, big fame, big money. But he would never keep even 1 rupee in his pocket. As soon as he comes from the court, he will empty his pocket, give it to everybody, whatever is there. Not 1 rupee for him, or in his pocket, or in his saving, anywhere. So what I find in his cupboard is a book of Bhagavad Gita in Sindhi language, which he used to read every day 1 chapter before he went to attend his courts. And we children, that point in time when we were in schools, we used to sit around him, not for Bhagavad Gita, not for Krishna or Arjuna. We had no clue about such profound teachings or such divine beings. Our Ishta Devata was Jhulelal Sai, and we had one beautiful painting, beautiful, marvelous painting in our living room. My mother was a great devotee of Guru Nanak Dev Maharaj. She would take us every morning holding our hands to Hari Kirtan Darbar for morning Kirtan Satsang. And my grandmother, she was an ardent devotee of our Ishta Devata Jhulelal. Hell or storm, rains, whatever, she would never miss even one day to go to that one river, Ulhas river flowing, and offering arati and floor laddus for the fishes. She was an extra, her name was Devi. She was Devi, a divine being. Apart from that, we were a pure non-vegetarian family. My father was a film producer, distributor, and exhibitor, a close friend of Raj Kapoor, Tarachand Prajadia, Kamal Prajadia, of Gulshan Rai, of K. Abbas. He introduced many film stars, including Dharmendra, Rajesh Khanna, Sadhana. That was he was genius. And what I find in my cupboard of my grandfather, the book of Bhagavad Gita, immediately I remembered my childhood days, and I thought in my mind, I took a vow that every day morning I would read one chapter of Bhagavad Gita before I take my breakfast. Again, not for Krishna or Bhagavad Gita or Arjuna, no ways, no clue about it then. But as a homage to my beloved grandfather, who did so much for our family, great noble soul. And in those days, we would sleep at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, get up at 10, 11, 12, and our breakfast would be around 12, 1. But I took a vow that I will not eat my breakfast till I have finished reading one chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. So I took that book to my hostel, always carried it. In few days, I remembered all the 18 chapters by heart. But while reading Bhagavad Gita, many times, again and again and again, a thought came at the back of my mind that if there was or there is any God incarnated as Krishna, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, if there is any truth in this statement, this divine declaration, then the Lord must be born at this point in time somewhere, because the situation in our country and in the world demanded His direct divine intervention. Just a thought, logical thought. And I knew that He would not come in the same form what the cover page exhibited as Krishna with flute and that feather of the peacock. I knew this would be different form. Times have changed. But again, this was just a fleeting thought. We were busy every day watching movies, going to premieres and parties and clubs and dancing, everything. We had access to all the entertainment of those times. Now his game started. We had our theatre, Sapna Talkies, and there was a special provision of a family box of 12 seats above the balcony, exclusively for our family to watch movies privately, even while eating and drinking. And more so, any big movie release, we would get the print one day in advance, say Thursday night, and we would watch the movie before it is released next day with our family and friends. So on one such Thursday, his day, I just went to meet my friend. He was actually direct friend of my elder brother who was doing his medicines in GMC College, Dr. Prem. So this friend, Deepak Advani, he was just across our garden, a municipal garden across the road. So I went to his house, and his father, Mr. Gopal Advani uncle, he opened the door, and he was very good friend of my father. So he said, come Harish. I said, uncle, I have come to invite Deepak for today night's premiere show. He said, he is taking bath. I said, okay, just kindly uncle give him this message, and you could also come if you want. He said, no, you come inside. He will be here in 5-10 minutes. I'll get you a cup of tea. You are my friend's son. I'll not leave you like that. Come. So I could not refuse him, and he got a cup of tea for me, and he started. We called him All India Radio. Beautiful uncle, beautiful person. He said, Harish, have you heard about Vibhuti coming out from a photograph of Sathya Sai Baba in that house of Mr. Anandani, Sirumal Anandani? I said, uncle, this gave me a very repulsive feeling. I said, uncle, please, uncle, don't talk about any Babas and Vibhutis, because I don't want to even listen to such things. I'm a science student, and I know for sure nothing can be created and nothing can be destroyed. I was trying to show off my knowledge. Of course, he was also educated, but not as modern education with him. So I thought I would give him some modern wisdom. But he was not in mood to accept it. He said, you call yourself a scientific minded person, and you refuse to even listen to something which you have not seen, and you reject it outright. I don't accept this scientific approach. I'm sorry. Oh, this was like a great challenge to my self-proclaimed scientific mind and scientific knowledge. So I have this grace of God that once I realize my mistake, I don't argue for the sake of argument. I accept it gracefully. So I immediately said, yes, uncle, I think you're right. I see your point in that. He said, then Deepak is, I know him, he will take not less than 15-20 minutes for bath. He is of that kind. So Mr. Anandani, just opposite to our house, just across the road, 2 minutes walk. And he's your father's very good friend as well. And he's a thorough gentleman. We'll just go there. In fact, I wanted that you should come with me, because I also don't believe in anything blindly. But I thought that if we both go together and analyze the entire issue and see for ourselves, then we can come to some conclusion. I said, Uncle, I will come with you, certainly. But one small request. We'll just watch it and simply come back. I will not sit there. I will not discuss this thing in front of that gentleman because I don't want to hurt anybody's faith. And you say he is my father's friend, that means elderly person, gentleman. So we'll just, and I'm sure this is going to be a hoax. I know it, but still you have put me in such situation that I cannot say anything but to come with you. But we'll just walk, look and come back. He said, done. So now the divine game is going to start. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai.